What up, gamers? I'm Jason.
I'm Julie.
And today on Dice & Dragons, we are going to be reviewing the first expansion to My Little Scythe. This is the Pie in the Sky expansion, published by Stonemaier Games and designed by Hoby Chou with some assistance from his daughter, Vienna Chou. Now I'm going to toss it over to Julie, who will tell you more about the game itself.
So first of all, we'd like to thank Stonemaier Games for sending us this review copy. Much appreciated. Thanks for the support of the channel. But we'd like to remind our viewers that our opinions will remain our own. So that being said, this is a competitive game for ages 8 and above, so it falls nicely in that family game category. It plays in about 45 to 60 minutes and is for 2 to 6 players.
And what will you be doing in this game with the Pie in the Sky expansion? Well, just like in My Little Scythe, you're going to have to get different trophies, and you claim them once per turn, except on the last turn of the game where everyone kind of gets a nice little catch-up mechanic. And you now have this new airship, which you'll be able to seek with, and you'll be able to move the airship around the board, potentially picking up some of these different resources, storing them in your cargo hold. You may also deploy your asymmetric airship ability that will let you get some new powers. And when you are playing with the My Little Scythe, the Pie in the Sky expansion for this game, then you will need to get 5 trophies instead of the original 4. Other than that, the gameplay remains largely the same. You just have the airship, which is coming into play. You also get some new quests and some new upgrade tiles. Now we're going to take a look at the components, so you'll be able to see all the new content for the expansion. On that note, Julie, I think we need to
grab our drink,
grab our best friend, and take it to the table one more time. Now we're going to take a quick look at the components for the Pie in the Sky expansion for My Little Scythe. We'll start with the rule book. So it does give you a nice explanation of the game setup, some information on the 2 new factions, the Foxes and the Owls, then an overview is how you're going to use the airship, which is the real new component, and then just airship movement rules, and some explanations to how the finales change with the expansion, as well as some clarifications regarding some rules that have changed. Now I'm just going to move this off camera as we got some other stuff here as well. We do have the Auto Mountie for Pie in the Sky, which will just add some new rules for the Automa. And then we do have the achievement sheet. Here we've got the 2 new base camps for each faction. We have a 5th trophy for all of the original factions in the game. So that's why you got 1 in every color, as you can see. Next to it, we do have the trophies for just the other faction, and you do have 5 of those. I don't have all of them depicted. I figured 1 of each would be more than enough. We of course have their pie token to track what they have in stock for pies, as well as their friendship tracking tokens here. Oh, sorry. I was a little bit off camera there, but yeah, you got to see them. These are the gadgets, and you can tell that they're gadgets by what's on the back there, that are for different factions and are used with the airship. For example, as you can see, we've got the Forbidden Pie, which is an airship ability. Now, each faction will either gain a specific one that is tailor-made for their faction. So it is adding in some asymmetric abilities into the game. The other option is to... this one is on both sides. You can shuffle them up and deal a random airship ability to each faction. You also have your own cargo hold, so you can just get an example of what we got. The Forbidden Pie, Unstable Portal, Replicator, Crop Duster, Gem Sonar, Trophy Dropper, Magic Vortex, the Telescope, the Spotlight, the Harpoon, and those are all the different gadgets, and you can see which faction they're for. Now the Trophy Dropper doesn't seem to be related to a specific one, so it's probably the mat for the Automa. That's why it's double-sided. That has the EMP that we saw quickly on the other side. Now you do have the airship miniature, which I think is pretty cool. It comes in 2 pieces for storage. Very easy to put together. You do have the new airship die for the airship movement when you're going to be using your new seek action, which is right here. Everyone gets a new seek action automatically to place on their board. That's why you have so many of them. It's for the new player count. You then also get 2 new quest cards that'll be added to the quest deck. We also have some upgraded tiles, some new ones. So you have the food truck and then move, which is the air transport. We get 2 new make actions as well that get added to the upgrades. And of course, we've got the miniatures for the factions. And as you can see, they are identical, exactly like the ones in the base game. But really like them. I love the look and the aesthetic of My Little Scythe. It's just got such a nice look for families. And of course, just your action tracking tokens. So there you have it. That's what you're going to be getting in the Pie in the Sky expansion. Now keep it right here as Julie and I will be coming back at you with our review of this expansion. So Julie, we're back in the world of Pomme. We are playing the My Little Scythe Pie in the Sky expansion. And what did you think of it? I know you enjoyed the original game, and now we've got this pretty cool airship, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Well, at first I thought it was going to make a bigger impact, I think, when we looked at what it did and what it could do. But the fact that it only picks one thing up didn't seem to make all that big a deal. And my ability that goes along, I don't know if it goes along with it, but at least it's part of the expansion, never really came into play at all. My ability allowed me to basically gain pies when I lost friendship.
And I've got the ability that there's the replicator, which meant that if I happen to place, a apple or a gem on a space where someone already had it and the airship and this was there, I could essentially gain an extra one into my cargo hold, a duplicate of it. Now, one thing I will say about this, I feel like the Pie in the Sky expansion is going to have a bigger impact on a game with more players when you're going to have all of the different base camps being used, because it's going to give you other opportunities to get resources and really keep the game flowing. I feel that at 2 players, while it did speed up the game, it doesn't make as big of an impact.
But I say that, but I really lost this game, by a lot.
Yeah, I've got 5 trophies. You've got 2 trophies.
Well, I basically could have had 3 by the end, but I conceded because there was no way I was getting to 5. I didn't think it had that much of an impact, but I do agree with you that it probably has a little bit more of an impact at the higher player counts.
Yeah, for example, my replicator is not very good when there's only 2 seekers on the board. If there's more seekers and I happen to place it, it's going to come into play in a much different fashion. So that's just one of the things that you definitely want to consider with this expansion. I really do like these asymmetric abilities. It adds something that is new to the game. Now you do have the option of either picking the one that is specific to your seekers. So I'm playing the foxes. I got the one for the foxes, but you can just shuffle them up and randomly pick one too. So I like the fact that you can do it either or, because it means that you're going to be able to add some variety and some randomness into the game as well.
I think that's the only difference really that there is with this expansion, right?
Yeah, there are a couple new quests, a couple new upgrade tiles, which you may or may not see. And when I say a couple, I mean 2. So 2 move and 2 make tiles. And then there's just the 2 quests, some new tokens, and the airship. So it is definitely a smaller expansion, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, because I feel that this game, My Little Scythe, sets out to do some things very well, and I feel that it delivers on that promise, and that this expansion just enhances that promise by making things a little bit faster in even in a 2-player game, but probably much faster in a 4, 5, or 6 player game because no one can touch your cargo hold. Meaning, if you do enough seek actions, you're going to get the opportunity to deliver apples or gems pretty much no matter what, and it'll give you a steady path of progression towards those goals where you're not necessarily going to be, hit in the face with a pie and lose all your stuff, lose all your resources. So I think that it makes the game just a little bit more playable because, look, the map, you can't see like my 2 seekers necessarily, but I'll move them. The map is fairly cluttered just with 4 seekers on there. So if you've got 10 players, you're going to have, not 10 players, 5 players are going to have 10 seekers, meaning 10 spaces are occupied, and that's going to make a big difference when you're playing the game.
I don't really have anything else to add.
No, it's very much a smaller expansion.
The only thing I can say is I did hear the little guy seem very interested in the airship, so I can imagine that it does have an impact for the younger kids, the younger players too, because it kind of looks like it's floating there.
It definitely does a good job, and also I'll have to say component quality. This is very well done, very easy to pop on and off, which is exactly what you want for this kind of component piece. So once again, great components from Stonemaier Games. So Julie, what is your score for Pie in the Sky?
I think as an expansion, I'd give this a 6.5. It's a pass. It does well. Not sure how much it adds, but it was a nice addition.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7. I think that it could go higher, but we really haven't had a chance to play this game at higher player counts. This is a family game and something that we may get out at a higher player count over the holidays. If we do, we'll try to record some quick thoughts. It's one of the new things that we're going to want to do probably going forward into 2023 is we want to get some stuff back to the table. So when we do get a chance to play, we'll probably film a quick 4 or 5 minute video just adding some context. But I agree with Julie. It's a pass. It does what it set out to do. I think I liked it more than her because I won this game quite handily, as you mentioned. And yeah, I can see where the design is going for the Pie in the Sky and what the objectives it's trying to accomplish are, and I feel like it does a good job of that while still keeping the elegance of the original game. So on that note, we're going to remind you to
like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified when we have new content for you.
And take a look down below in the video description. You'll find links to all of our social media feeds, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you'd like to see some pictures of Julie and I playing My Little Scythe or My Little Scythe Pie in the Sky, there'll be plenty on those feeds. Also popping up in front of us, I almost forgot something. You should also take a look at getting a copy of this expansion and the base game by taking a look down below in the video description for a link to multizone.ca, a great Canadian game store. Click the link. You'll get 10% off your next purchase. It's a great way to support the channel. So a portion of that purchase will be returned to us. And now where I was going when I got ahead of myself, you'll have some videos popping up in front of us. So right here in front of me will be the link to our most recent release. And in front of Julie, it's going to take you back to our original review of My Little Scythe. And on that note, we're now going to
grab our drink,
grab our best friend,
okay, keep playing games.
Keep playing games. Definitely think this one will sit on the shelf for a while, but when we can get a bigger player count, it's definitely going to come back to the table.